Well, thanks everybody for joining us again for one of our conversations. And throughout this campaign, we've had a few different goals for the campaign. Obviously, raise money for the school, and y'all as a team are doing a wonderful job at that. With a goal just short of $2 million, $1,984,000. We're over $2.6 million has been contributed so far, or committed so far to the Citadel. With a goal of our scholarship of $500,000, we're over $600,000 so far to that goal, and we're over 50% participation, which historically has been a good number. We have a more ambitious number. We'd like to hit about 65%, for more work to be done, and we have another 7 months or so to do that with your help. So certainly, raising money for the school has been one of the key goals of our campaign for the last, Mark, it's been 2 years. But we've had other goals. And, one of those is just to acknowledge those classmates who have remained involved with the school over the years. We wanted to kind of prepare for a big celebration in November, and that's coming up quickly. We tried to re-engage with as many of our classmates as possible over the last couple of years, and then just to celebrate that special bond that we all have. Today's call has a little bit of a sword drill connection to it. A couple of our guests were on sword drill, and a couple of us, Tony and I, were not there. But for every aspirant, there was a group of 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 people that helped them get through that. And I was one of those that, I couldn't run all day like Eddie Terrell could. But I could shine up his brass when he came back to his room, or put black on his shoes so he could get back out there again. Once he came back from one of the daily hazing sessions, or military training exercises. Yeah, that they did. But it was a team effort, just like the campaign is. And we thought it would be great today to catch up with some of our friends to kind of have that connection as well. Seeing that commitment that Eddie and the others here today demonstrated gave me a deep appreciation for this special group and the bond that they share. So, Mark, why don't you introduce us to the team we've assembled today, and let's find out what they've been doing for the last 40 years.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Looking forward to some conversation about what they've been up to and that kind of thing. So I'll get going with the questions, and you guys can just speak up as you feel the need. Let's start out. Let's kind of, whoever wants to start out, kind of tell us what you've been up to professionally and personally over the last 40 years since graduation. Just kind of give us some highlights, if you would.
Yeah, I'll start out since I kind of hornswoggled these two guys into this meeting with us. So for me, once I graduated and went to the Marine Corps, stayed there for a little over 10 years. I did leave after I have a son that's a special needs. So when he was born, I did get out, and then but I loved that time in. I would have stayed in longer otherwise. But family is a bit more important, as we all know. And so from there, I went to work for a company called Oscar Mayer, and I made hot dogs, and I still eat them. I eat the beef ones. Just a hint for you guys. All right. So, but I did do that. The other thing after that, I did then move to a company called Kimberly-Clark, and I made surgical face masks. So all the face masks everybody was wearing during COVID. Yeah, I made most of those. But before the COVID, obviously. Since then, no, I left and I went to a company that more with investing. It started with Invest Tools, it was called. Then TD Ameritrade bought us out, and now I work for Charles Schwab because they just bought TD Ameritrade. And I currently do that. I run around the country teaching people how to trade in the market, and it's a great time. It's a lot of work, a lot of travel from time to time, but it's not too bad. Well, that's where I'm at.
Very good.
Cool. That is really cool. Yeah, you kind of swindled us in here, didn't you, Tommy?
Yeah, I did.
I was actually getting a little nervous. I told Raymond, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm getting a little scared. We need to maybe practice so we don't talk about stuff that we really shouldn't talk about. But no, that's cool, and it's been good to see Raymond. I've seen Raymond a couple of times. that we know when we've gone to Charleston to, for obviously for some homecomings, but it was really cool catching up with him and his family and stuff, because Raymond and I obviously, roomed together for a couple of 3 years, and it was very it meant a lot, for Raymond to reach out and kind of take me in, right? Because I didn't have family, man. I was from Maryland.
Yeah.
I was one of those Yankees that came down, and but Raymond was gracious, and his family was gracious to kind of welcome me and take me in, and so the holidays were a whole lot better, and I really appreciate that. But and it's good seeing you. It's
Yeah.
good seeing you, and I look forward to seeing you. And when Raymond reached out to me, even last year, right? It was just really cool to see. But before I got to get into that, I've been working for Caterpillar. I did some odd jobs. If you recall, when we got out, right, there was a savings and loan, there was a banking crisis, right? And I worked in banking for a little bit because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. We lived in Columbia for a while, and but then the savings and loan industry just went downhill. And my degrees in mathematics and computer science, so computer science was my wheelhouse, and that's what I wanted to do. And I fortunately got a job with Cat, and I've been with Caterpillar now for it'll be 33 years in November.
Wow.
And
Wow.
man, it's just been I've been very blessed. It's been a good company to work for, and they've treated me well. I've stayed right here. We moved back to North Carolina after we got married. My wife is born and raised in this county that we live in. It's Johnson County, so it's right next to Raleigh. We live in a small town called Clayton. Well, it's not small anymore; it's growing. But anyway, yeah, I've been here. We've been in the same house for 32 years. Two girls. I have two grandsons now, who is they're 3 and 1, Shepherd and Sutton. And man, after having two girls, I love my two girls. Don't get me wrong, but those two boys, oh my gosh, I am having a ball with those boys. So, but yeah, that's it. I I've like I said, I've been very blessed, and actually give a lot of credit, to the Citadel and what the Citadel did for me. And I can see things in my life, that I learned while I was at school, even though I had fun. I think some of that stuff might have set in. So anyway, it's been good. Yeah.
Tony, I was just going to interject. Don Breidenbauer worked for Caterpillar as well, our other classmate, right?
I did. Yep. I did get a chance to meet him and or talk to him and chat with him a couple of times. I don't know if he's still with Cat or not. I
He
haven't looked him up.
retired. He
Oh,
retired.
he retired. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good for him.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. I kind of like what I'm doing, and I'm gonna try to hold off till maybe when I turn 65. Not that I have to, but it's gonna be kind of nice. Everything's gonna kind of come together at that time. So as long as Caterpillar will have me, and as long as I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I'm gonna keep doing it. But yeah, I spoke with Don a couple of times. It was really cool getting to meet him and getting to talk to him. I can't remember how we met. It might have been in a meeting. I say we met. I knew him obviously from school, but how we kind of re-engaged. It was I can't exactly remember, but it was really neat to come across somebody that was, classmate and obviously a Citadel alumni, because for whatever reason, Caterpillar doesn't have a very big footprint for for Citadel alumni. I guess being out of Peoria, Illinois, but now they've moved to Texas. But anyway, being out of the Midwest, it's not a big Citadel town, I guess.
Cool.
Anyway,
Well, thank you for that. Tommy Henson, do you want to kind of give us your thoughts on what you've been up to?
Well, I've been a lot like Ray, straight out of school, into the Marine Corps. Unlike Ray, I did not want to go into the service. So I had to go complete OCS after graduation, and then receive my commission and went in, had a wonderful tour. I think it was probably 4 years active, not that long. After that, career in banking, pretty much a cash management specialist. Sometime in the large corporate bank, but most of the time transitioned into community banking, especially as the kids came along. And Tony, I had 3 girls. I had one, and then 18 months later, I had twins. So I got to take that fatherly role, coaching the softball, had to learn how to play tennis. So it's been a good ride. And I did. I turned 62 recently, and I decided enough is enough. So I walked away, and I've decided that I can make ends meet, and I'll make it work. And it's just that life is short, and I'm so thankful for the experiences that the two of you, you made that relationship, Elle said, so much deeper, so much richer. Especially Ray, when I got to meet Patrick, such a fine young man, just a joy, total joy. But that's basically it. Now I'm just getting old and fat.
I resemble that remark.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of retirement, I heard a saying the other day, and it said, "I have enough, and I've had enough."
Yeah.
It kind of
Very well
sums it up.
stated. Very well stated.
Woo, yeah, there's some days that I say that I'm like, I'm done. I've had enough. I can't do it anymore. But
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. You got some more gas in the tank. That's great.
I hope so.
Well, and we've all met Patrick, and that is a blessing for all of us as well, right? And he comes out to a lot of the Citadel functions and has enjoyed time with our class as well.
I appreciate
Hey,
that.
guys, talk to me about Giving Day. Y'all really turned out on Giving Day. Was there a strategy to that? Was there activity behind the scenes? What was going on there?
I can say all he did is I tried to just put it out there to everybody. I think just the brotherhood really, as Tony was talking about, and Tommy it's tremendous. And these guys really got me through school as well. And I think just that everybody knowing each other and feeling that same strong bond to the school really helps. I know for me, reason I give back is I could not have gone to the Citadel without grants and those type of things that were available from those that went before us that did the same kind of thing that gave. Because my dad was a chief in the Navy, mom didn't work. Tony's been in my house where I grew up in. It was it's about 1,080 square feet. It's a pretty small house, and we got by as a family, but we couldn't afford school like some folks had growing up, and without those who gave to the school that gave me that opportunity, I wouldn't have been able to go to school. I had a partial scholarship for wrestling, but that wasn't going to cover everything, obviously, and so that's because of that. That's gives me that drive to give back and help out, and hopefully do that for someone else. That enables them to stay in school or even go to school that otherwise would not be able to. So that's my drive behind it, and I appreciate Tommy and Tony because they have that same great drive and passion towards helping people. So I think that's a big part of that. So let you guys go at it. What's y'all's thoughts?
Well, if I can just jump in, Tony, excuse me. Don't want to break the batting lineup.
Yeah.
But for me,
I was going to suggest we shake it up anyway. No, that's perfect.
okay. When my mom first saw me, Parents' Day weekend, Knob year, she was just devastated. I was to go to the Citadel athletics, play ball, and I'd lost close to 50 pounds, and it just wasn't in the cards for me. So my dad said, "Look, we'll go pack your bags. You can go to any school you want to go to, anywhere." And I said, "No, I'm not quitting. I'm staying. No matter what happens, I'm staying." And it was the best experience of my life. And I'm so glad I didn't leave. And, that relationship between my mom and the Citadel, it transitioned, and she was so proud. She was so happy. And the school means so much to me. I know in my financial planning and where things will go, I'm going to be right there, and I'm going to make sure I have space to give back, because between Harvey, Rojam, even little Black Bart here, just they mean so much to me. And Tony, you were such a great guy. There's so much there that's not to be said here, but I'm so thankful for the richness of those relationships.
Tommy, I just wanted to add too that I've seen some of your writing on Facebook and LinkedIn, and
Oh
you,
my, don't go there.
you
Yeah.
have a great way of making me think about things when you write and thinking about life in general. And you're just a great writer. So I've always enjoyed reading that stuff.
Well, I want to say this to you. The best English teacher I ever had was my first commanding officer when I got to Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. We deployed constantly. I was air traffic control operations officer. But I did after action report after action report. And he was so poignant to say, get in, make your point, get out, be done. But that was probably one of the best educations I had. And I did not ever want to go in. And my father was so correct. And I'm so blessed that I did.
Great. Great.
That is
Tony,
cool.
thoughts?
Yeah. No, that's you're right, Tommy. It's an experience that, obviously it's funny that you say what you said because I didn't know that. My father, when we showed up that first day, and I went upstairs to put my stuff in my room, and I don't know how he got up there, but he got up there, and I opened the door, and he was standing right there, and he said, he said, "If you want to come home, I'll take you home right now." And I told him, I said, "No, I'm good, Dad. I'm good." And oh my gosh, yeah, were there times, especially Nobby, you're coming back from Christmas, but that hurt hard. I was like, I'm not gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm thankful that I met you guys, right, and the relationships that we built over the years has just been invaluable. And as I look back on it, it has been a blessing. And, when we talk a little bit about, giving and giving back to the Citadel, I've been guilty, right, of not doing that. There was back in mid 20 or early 2010, 2012, some time frame. I was doing giving to the Alumni Association, and I became a lifetime member. So I was like, oh wow, well that's great, So I thought that was enough, but thankfully Raymond reached out to me, and like Raymond said, it's those relationships and the bonds that you build, and what people mean to you, and knowing that what we're doing is going to help people, like one of my best friends, right, that I had, in school, meant a lot. And Raymond was very good about, reaching out. And so, the past couple of years, I've been very fortunate to be able to step up, while it might not be a great and, a huge amount, it's hopefully something that's helped, put another link in that chain that can help, pull somebody along that really needs that help. And so again, it's Tommy, I appreciate everything that you said too, and it's really neat to, to kind of reminisce a little bit. I'm sure, and I'm hoping that we'll all be at the reunion,
Oh, yeah.
come November.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it'll be even more special to have something to talk about, after we're finished up here today. So again, I really appreciate Raymond kind of reaching out to us, but then obviously, Tommy and Raymond, everything you guys have said and what we've done and been through, those 4 short years. I remember that we would sit around and we're thinking, man, in 3 years we're gonna, 2 years we're gonna have our ring, we're gonna graduate, we're gonna come back and my ring's gonna be totally blitzed and you're not gonna be able to see the numbers, and here we are 40 years later. I can't believe it. It's amazing, but it's been a blessing in my life, that's for sure. And not just from the Citadel, but from the brotherhood that I've got with guys like you.
Yeah, I would like to share one more story quickly. And it has to do with those relationships. And this is about Rojam. He would call me periodically just to check on me, just, hey, how you doing? And it, wasn't that often, maybe twice a year, maybe every other year. But he calls me on this occasion about 10 years ago, and he said, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. He said, no, you're not. I could hear in your voice. I said, yes, sir, you're right. He said, what's up? I said, well, my father's in the hospital. I don't think it's good. I think he's passing away. He said, what do you want me to do, son? I said, well, I would love for you to be here if you want to. He said, well, I'm in Canada. He said, it'll take me 3 days to get home to Virginia, and then I'll be there. The man drove 3 days from Canada, came down to Gastonia, spent 3 days in a Walmart parking lot, would not come to the house, offered him a room, place to stay, and sat there in the pew beside me at my father's funeral. You know, you just, those kind of relationships you don't forge overnight in any other school that I'm aware of. And I'm so eternally grateful and thankful for that kind of relationship. We don't talk every day. I hope he's doing well. I haven't spoken to him recently, but that kind of heartfelt joy, that's about the relationship between you or Ray and others. Is so intertwined, and it means so much of being with the Citadel.
Yeah, I could add as well is, you know, and Tony, you brought this up, and it's a really good point is, you know, you're not continuously always involved in things all the time, but when you are, and you come back together, it's that immediate bond. It's right there. It's like you didn't miss a beat. And I don't think, you know, I kind of feel sorry for other schools, honestly, because you know, I talk to friends that went to different colleges and whatnot, and they go, yeah, we don't do that kind of stuff. We don't have, you know, these kind of events and stuff. And I go, well, that's too bad for you guys, because you're missing out on a lot of stuff. So it's kind of cool to be able to come back and see one another when we get a chance, and you know, you can just pick right back up where you were. And I think that's something that's just very unique that no one else has. And I think it's one of the great things about the school that it is built into you, and you have it forever. And to me, it's a great thing, especially
I
these two.
agree.
Keep me
Ray,
in trouble.
it's a great perspective about the bond that we all have. If I could, in wrapping up, just talk about a couple of the comments that have been made. Ray, I think that was a really great highlight to that special bond. Tony, you had mentioned something about how individually there isn't much that we can do for the school. There have been some individuals that have done large things, but even for those of us who can't pull off a scholarship ourselves or something along those lines, when you put almost 400 of us together from the class, and right now we're leaning up against $3 million as total contributions for the school, that's a big deal. We're right now at $600,000. We may make $700,000 or $800,000 for our scholarship over the next 7 months or so, and that is a fully endowed scholarship that will be able to contribute to somebody's college education for generations. And it's a big deal, but it's what we contribute together. And Tommy, just last, you said something about your longer term gift planning. And I highlight this just because I'm kind of in the business and have done this before. For those of you who are thinking about legacy gifts as part of your plan, as part of your contribution, those take time. We're down to about 7 months of our campaign. So if you haven't started, get started. We're in conversations now with a couple of our classmates that are doing that. And they're finding out that it takes a little time to pull it all together, to make all the considerations, find the right parameters that you want to place in your documents, and find the right experts to draft all that for you. So as we close in on the last half of our campaign, wrap up the last 2 years and close in on the last 6 months, just be thinking about that, what we can contribute as a team, what we can contribute as a group of brothers that are trying to do something great for the Citadel for our 40th. Mark, anything else to wrap us up?
No, I just wanted to thank Tony, Tommy, and Ray. You guys, probably of all the videos we've done, you've been the most conversational, and you really shared some great stuff and kind of demonstrated the camaraderie that we all enjoy. So just really thank you for doing this. And it's been great. I know all our other classmates are going to really enjoy seeing and hearing this as well. So thank you again for being on, and look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thanks.
Good deal. Thank you.
All right. Thank
See you
you.
in November.
Good seeing y'all.